I'm Susan Munro, Chair of Elizabeth's Group. Elizabeth was driven and fought hard all her life, and the driving force was the fight for social justice for women and girls. Fighting for an end to the slavery of coverture and for girls to have an education and ultimately the vote kept her permanently busy. But she had another love, another driver, and that was her writing. She was a lover of poetry, as were a lot of people in the 19th century. Poets in those days were like our celebrities today, and a lot of people aspired to be poets, including her partner Ben Elmy, and she herself wrote poetry. It is one of the saddest parts of Elizabeth's story that the archive of her work that she had meticulously kept and stored in Buxton House was destroyed in 1914. It included her canon of poetry and an autobiography, Memories of a Happy Life, that she had left to be published after her death. I cannot express my feelings about this loss of Elizabeth's work. It just fills me with such anger and sadness to think what we lost that day when those men arrived at Buxton House, loaded her work onto handcarts and took it away to recycle for the war effort. How such a thing was allowed to happen is quite beyond me. All those letters she received from the leading figures in the women's movement from the 1850s onwards. Her poems, her hundreds of pamphlets and thousands of letters, even Ben's work, the list is endless. Because of that mindless act, today we have only 2 poems that Elizabeth definitely wrote, and Ben's book, Woman Free, which is an epic poem pleading justice for women. Woman Free is still available and still in print. In Woman Free, Ben quotes a poem by an anonymous writer. I have no evidence to support this, but I like to think that that anonymous writer is his wife, Elizabeth, because it sums up completely what she must have felt about her position in society as a woman under the constraints and inequality of the time, and her feelings for her soulmate and partner, Ben. In Women Free, Ben wrote, "Women's deep and wholesome impulse and yearning for individual freedom and selfdom is well spoken in the following lines by an anonymous writer." I'd like to read you that poem. Alone and free. Could I only stand between grey moor and grey sky, where the winds and the plovers cry, and no man is at hand, and feel the free wind blow on my rain-wet face, and know I am free, not yours, but my own, free and alone. For the soft firelight and the home of your heart, my dear, they hurt, being always here. I want to stand upright and to cool my eyes in the air, and to see how my back can bear burdens, to try to know, to learn, to grow. I am only you. I am yours, part of you, your wife. And I have no other life. I cannot think, cannot do, I cannot breathe, cannot see. There is us, but there is no me. And worse, at your kiss I grow, contented so. Wonderfully expressed there. Writing, as you can see, was very important to Elizabeth and Ben, and one of the influences Elizabeth has had on my own life is now I keep a journal, and my personal writing is much more important to me than it ever was. Elizabeth's Group are planning a publication for International Women's Day 2024, a compilation of work that expresses womanhood in this day and age. It will include short stories, essays, poems and artwork, and we would like to invite you to to take part. We would like to challenge you to take up your pen or keyboard and write something that is close to your heart. Perhaps you'd like to write about Elizabeth and what she means to you, or perhaps you might like to share some experience from your life that defines you as a woman. Or perhaps you would like to write about a very special woman that has impacted your life. Really, you have carte blanche to write whatever is in your heart, and you don't have to be a woman to have your work included. Just take inspiration and write. You can submit your entry via email to elizabethwelme@gmail.com with the subject Elizabeth's book, or perhaps have a look at our website or our Facebook group. I can't wait to hear from you and to read your work. So get thinking, and most of all, get writing. Goodbye from Elizabeth's Corner.